Hello, everyone, and hope you're all having an amazing day or had an amazing day depending on your current time zone. Today, I'm going to discuss how meningitis really impacted my daughter's transplanted kidney. It was a long, probably about a year and a half of recovery process from 4 months in the hospital to learning how to walk again, right? So she was literally almost about a year on a wheelchair. So it was pretty dramatic. And then the way the onset of meningitis when it came to my daughter was all about her legs. It was really aggressive when it came to her legs. Like she had bubbles full of fluid all throughout the back of her calves. So before I get started, I want to kind of give you some insight. I'm not a doctor, nurse, don't have a medical degree. This is all about obviously my experience or our experiences. And also, I am going to show some pictures of my daughter's legs, so just a trigger warning in case you guys are a little bit shy about about that kind of stuff. I think it's a good way to kind of show you guys what our real life experience was like. And these are more after the fluid was out, so it's not as bad. It's more just the red more than anything. But wanted to show you guys so you can kind of see kind of what our experience was versus just me talking about it. If you are familiar with meningitis, a very dangerous disease, it can cause brain damage, seizures, loss of hearing, learning disabilities, and cause death. Because obviously, if it does get into your brain, clearly it can be extremely dangerous. So, yeah. So hello. For those of you guys that are new to my channel, my name is Kathy. On Mondays, I do videos all about fashion, accessories, just fun things that I enjoy doing to keep my mind off of the second half of the week. Videos which are all about my daughters and their battles with TSC and FSGS. TSC being tuberous sclerosis complex, which is tumors that grow in every major organ throughout your body or can. And FSGS being a form of kidney disease that can cause damage to the glomeruli, which is the kidney filtration. It can lead to kidney disease, kidney failure, transplant, dialysis. It all depends. If you're interested in either or, please hit the little subscribe button, hit the little bell so you can be notified on all of my latest videos, and please don't forget to hit the like and comment below so you can help me with the algorithm gods and continue to grow my channel. I have officially hit 900 subscribers, so I wanted to shout out and thank you guys so much. I am super excited, so fortunate again, and let's hit that 1,000. Woo! And thank you again. So let's get started. So what is meningitis, right? It's an inflammation of the membranes. It covers the brain and the spinal cord, let's put it like that, and it's typically caused by an infection. Most commonly is either a bacterial or viral infection. It can be fungal, parasitic, it could be a trauma or surgery. Most times the symptoms are like, it can be fever, headache, stiff neck, sensitivity to light, nausea, vomiting, confusion, seizures. Like, it all depends. With my daughter, the onset was little like very hard lumps that were growing underneath the skin, legs and arms. So we ended up, it was kind of a back and forth from the house to the hospital. It was just countless visits. It was just so much frustration because we really didn't know how to handle the situation. We didn't know what it was. So we would go in, they'd give her medication. She started feeling a little bit better. So she was on antibiotics, a little bit of everything, because by the time it started to get really bad, her legs were bubbling up. Fluid-filled bubbles were all over her legs and the back of her legs, on her calves. She ended up having to get plasmapheresis. So, as her meningitis was getting worse, right, she was still getting the medication and the treatment. She was in the hospital, but we started to get her going with the plasmapheresis so that she wouldn't lose her kidney. We were trying to save it at the same time as we were battling this meningitis, which was literally eating her flesh alive. Her legs looked like they were on fire. Let's put it like that. It was so much pain for her. She was barely able to walk. I had to carry her to the car a few times during our trips back and forth. So towards the point where she was really struggling, and we took her back into the ER, she ended up staying there for about 4 months throughout all the holidays, like literally Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. She finally got out around my birthday. So it was really it was really a difficult time back in 2015. It was just really frustrating. Let's put it like that, because we couldn't find the right answer. Like, it was always something else. We were always like, one thing will be okay, and then we're battling another thing. So it turned into quite a bit of a roller coaster. With the actual meningitis, unfortunately, we're not sure which one it was. It could have been bacterial, could have been viral. We really didn't know, and the doctors couldn't give us a straight answer, just because they were kind of thrown off. Like, okay, her legs are bubbling up like this. Like, what could it be, right? So um, she was doing fine for 2 years. So something could have flared up in her system, um, whatever it could have been, or it could have been something, just getting it from somewhere else, right? Like the streptococcus pneumonia or something like that that triggered it. Because clearly she would get sick, but once you have a kidney transplant, your immune system is low. You have to be aware of your surroundings. You have to be very careful, very cautious. So uh, definitely something that could have been. And again, it was just they were treating her they ended up treating her with antivirals. They ended up treating her with antibiotics. She was pretty much getting a little bit of everything, antifungals, and she ended up getting treatment with steroids to treat her legs and stuff like that, so to reduce the inflammation. But she was fully vaccinated. When you have a transplant, you have to be vaccinated, just because it's really important to obviously make sure your kidney's okay. So we really don't know what could have triggered this one. This infection was scary. She ended up having to get spinal taps. So she got two, one in the beginning of the journey and one towards the end, to make sure that everything was still clear. She's doing great. It did take about a year and a half to fully recover. Uh, we were told that she might not even be able to walk again, and that was probably the biggest one. On many occasions, I did have to carry her to and from. She had to go through physical therapy. Physical therapy was probably one of the most difficult things that she had to go to, because she wouldn't get up from bed. She was just like struggling to get up. She was just so miserable. She didn't want to do anything because she was in so much pain. So I had to really encourage her throughout the process too. Like, we had to change the bandages on her legs. She wouldn't let anyone else touch her. She would only let me do it, just because she just felt a lot more comfortable with me doing it. She knew that I'd be gentle on her. That was a big part of that. I was just happy that, when they did the spinal tap, that she was okay. That was probably the biggest, that was the scariest one. My sister ended up going with her because I remember I had to work. And thank goodness for my sister, she ended up helping out a lot during that journey. She would stay with her a few days during the school year, which was, I'm very thankful. Like I said, you don't, it's really important when you're in this environment to have a team to help out, because it can be exhausting. Like, my husband would help out. Like, he'd help out in the home and just take care of stuff at home, and with my other daughter, which is also has her disability. So we're kind of switching up, and that became a whole team event. My mom would go to the hospital, stay with my daughter a couple of days. My sister would come down. I would go in. We'd take like turns towards the second month, because it was kind of just me in the hospital, and so we did kind of a team thing. I said, hey, let's give Kathy a break, and let's all start sharing the wealth, right? Or and I wanted to also help out my husband at home. So it was pretty crazy journey. Towards the end of it, slowly her infection started going down. You could tell that she was starting to feel better. They finally found the right medication for her, which was key to the success, right, of curing meningitis. Because meningitis is, um, if you don't get the medication right, and it becomes worse and worse, obviously it can lead to a lot more sad, a much more sad ending, which can be devastating for any family. So, like I said, unfortunately, we're not sure whether she had viral or bacterial. Clearly, there's certain ones that you want to be careful if you're around. The reason that they thought it was bacterial, clearly, because it wasn't infectious. We weren't really scared around her. Nobody was really wearing a mask, so the doctor was like, this is clearly more of a bacterial one than anything. And once because he was explaining just the development or the onset of the disease, and just what they're seeing from the blood work. So that's pretty much what we were going with. If not, it would have been a lot more dangerous for all of us around there. Yeah, I can laugh now because it was difficult. When it comes to meningitis, like, we acted pretty quickly. As soon as I felt the lumps on her arms and her legs, it was straight to the ER. We didn't waste time, because when it comes to meningitis, and this is definitely a forewarning for everybody. Definitely, you have to strike quickly, because it does strike. The symptoms strike suddenly, and they get worse, progressive. They are very progressive, very quickly. So if you don't kind of get back and troubleshoot and start finding out what's going on or what's wrong, and you don't realize that what she has or he has is meningitis, it can lead to death, unfortunately. So it's really, again, really important. What I'm going to do now that I kind of explained to you our journey, I wanted to show just a couple of pictures. So if you are kind of if you don't like to see, I guess if you don't like to see, kind of, if you're a little squeamish about stuff, just look away. Don't look. I just kind of wanted to give you guys kind of some pictures of what it looked like, her legs, and what she went through, and how her onset was a little different than most meningitis patients, because you typically have like headaches, and it's just crazy because it could come on like a regular cold or a regular rash. Like, you'll see like small red pimples or like pink pricks almost before they start spreading really quickly and turning into like red blotches. So they are firm. So the little bumps that she had, but hers were like lumps, and they looked like they were part of her skin. It was just hard. Like, we couldn't press them down, so we knew it was something scarier than just your usual. They are, what you want to definitely do is just check to see if they're something that fades out. If they don't, you see like these red kind of like pinpricks on your arms and stuff like that start spreading real quick. Make sure you get to the ER really quickly. Now, urgent care does not, I wouldn't recommend going to urgent care, because they're more just for like really bad flus and stuff like that. Nothing like that could be life threatening. So go to a regular ER. Go get checked and get tested and make sure you don't have meningitis. Also, what's crazy, like, when it comes to meningitis, it's about like 3,000 people in the US. So it's like one out of every 100,000 people are diagnosed with bacterial meningitis each year. So it's really crazy. Usually like children, infants, obviously those that have a pretty weak immune system. Even college students or elderly, especially if they're not vaccinated. So you definitely want to recommend that if you do have a loved one that's older, make sure that they are vaccinated against meningitis. So thank you guys so much for taking the time out to check out my video. Hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to hit the like and comment below. Let me know what you think of today's video. And please don't forget to focus through and evolve. Oh, hold on. I totally forgot. Happy Valentine's Day. And now, don't forget to focus through and evolve.